Hey guys, in this video we're going to list the top 10 best reviewed games of July 2023. Each game's score was determined using an equation that I designed. This equation was that I would first use Metacritic to get the game's review score from every platform it was released on, then average out all of those scores to get a single value. Finally, every review of the game counted as 0.1 of a score, which would be added on to the averaged out value. This system was used to balance out the scores so that games with high review scores with only a few reviews wouldn't outrank games with a slightly lower score with 100 reviews. Now that the scale has been explained, let's get into it. Before we get into the top 10, we have some honorable mentions. The first honorable mention is My Friendly Neighborhood, which scored 81.6 on our scale. This is a survival horror game where something strange is happening with everyone's favorite Saturday morning puppet show, The Friendly Neighborhood. In the game, you play as Gordon, a repairman sent to get to the bottom of this disturbing dilemma, where you will have to fend off puppets and solve puzzles. This was made by John and Evan Zymanski and released on July 18th, 2023 for PC. The next honorable mention is Lisa Definitive Edition, which scored 82.7 on our scale. This is a role-playing game where all women have been wiped from existence, and you follow Brad's relentless journey through the barren wasteland making sacrifices. You'll have to cut off arms to save party members, fight through countless unique monster and enemy encounters, beat up old friends and past traumas, and do whatever it takes to save his daughter, the last girl alive. This was made by Serenity Forge and released on July 18th, 2023 for all platforms. The following honorable mention is F1 Manager 2023, which happened to tie Lisa Definitive Edition with a score of 82.7 on our scale. This is a racing management simulation game where you get to create your own F1 team to race in 23 different races, 6 F1 sprint events, with new cars and new circuits, including the Las Vegas Street Circuit. You also get new drivers and new challenges. This was made by Frontier Developments and released on July 27th, 2023 for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. The final honorable mention is Vemba, which scored 84.7 on our scale. This is a narrative cooking game where you play as an Indian mom who immigrates to Canada with her family in the 1980s. You will cook various dishes and restore lost recipes, holding branching conversations and exploring the story about family, love, loss, and more. This was made by Visai Games and released on July 31st, 2023 for all platforms. Now that the honorable mentions are finished, we can get into the top 10. Coming in at the number 10 spot is The Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie, which scored 84.9 on our scale. This is a JRPG where you use the Crossroads system to switch between Rien Swarzer, Lloyd Bannings, and the masked figure C, and determine the fates of key characters and locations within Zemuria. You will also drive into refined tactical combat with new features such as United Front and discover new allies and challenges within the halls of the True Reverie Corridor. This was made by Nihon Falcom and released on July 7th, 2023 for PlayStation, Switch, and PC. Next in at the number 9 spot is Radiant Tale, which scored 85.4 on our scale. This is an Otome visual novel where you play as a character named Tefalia, who longs for an eventful life and gets her wish when an unusual group calling themselves Circus wanders into her inn and presses her into service as a producer. You'll have to try to make this show a success, working alongside a crazy dragon who's more silly than scary, a prickly clown who won't make you laugh, a mysterious conductor who doesn't want to use water magic, an acrobat who doesn't know how to entertain, a drunkard furball, and an unmotivated leader. This was made by Automate and released on July 27th, 2023 for the Nintendo Switch. Coming in at the number 8 spot is Jagged Alliance 3, which scored 86.2 on our scale. This is a tactical RPG where the country of Grand Chien is thrown into chaos when the elected president goes missing and the paramilitary force known as the Legion seizes control. You must hire mercenaries, meet interesting characters, and fight in tactically deep turn-based combat. This was made by Hememont Games and released on July 14th, 2023 for PC. Next in at the number 7 spot is Viewfinder, which scored 87.7 on our scale. This is a mind-bending first-person adventure game in which you can bring pictures to life by placing them in the world. In this game, you must challenge perception, redefine reality, and reshape the world around you with an instant camera. Exploration is learning. You will learn the secrets of the world, the reason why it exists, and the freedom to create. Explore multiple hub worlds that are all cohesive and encompass similar but complex differences. This was made by Sad Owl Studios and released on July 18th, 2023 for the PS5 and PC. Coming in at the number 6 spot is Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals, which scored 88 on our scale. This is a narrative adventure game where in the small coastal town of Kamina, unnaturally occurring electromagnetic waves are suddenly causing interference with electrical and radio equipment. You play as Riley Poverly, who returns to her hometown to investigate the mystery, but what she finds is more than she bargained for. As you play, you'll shape every step of the story through your choices. How you choose to deal with the supernatural events at hand will forever alter the future. This was made by Night School Studio and 10 released on July 12th, 2023 for PlayStation, Switch, and PC. Next in at the number 5 spot is Let's Revolution, which scored 88.4 on our scale. This is a colorful roguelite puzzle mashup about stopping a narcissistic king from ruining your world. You must flip tiles to uncover the hidden path to the king. Use deductive reasoning to avoid his cronies or take them all down in strategic turn-based combat. This was made by Antfood and Buck and released on July 19th, 2023 for PC. Coming in at the number 4 spot is the PC port for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, which scored 88.5 on our scale. This is a third-person shooter platform game where you go dimension hopping with Ratchet & Clank as they take on an evil emperor from another reality. Jump between action-packed worlds and beyond at mind-blowing speeds, complete with dazzling visuals and an insane arsenal. This was made by Insomniac Games and released on July 26, 2023 for PC. Next in at the number 3 spot is Gravity Circuit, which scored 89.5 on our scale. This is a flashy, action-packed 2D platformer in the spirit of console classics. In the game, you follow Kai, a lone operative war hero who harnesses the mysterious powers of the gravity circuit on an adventure in a futuristic world inhabited by Sentinel robots. As the world's last line of defense, you'll journey through futuristic enemy-controlled locales and try to take down the evil mastermind behind the chaos. This was made by Domesticated Ant Games and released on July 13th, 2023 for PlayStation, Switch, and PC. Coming in at the number 2 spot is Remnant 2, which scored 89.9 on our scale. This is a third-person shooter action RPG that pits survivors of humanity against new deadly creatures and godlike bosses across terrifying worlds. You can play solo or in co-op with 2 other friends to explore the depths of the unknown in order to stop an evil from destroying reality itself. In order to succeed, you'll need to rely on your own skills and those of your team to overcome the toughest challenges and stave off humanity's extinction. This was made by Gunfire Games and released on July 25th, 2023 for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Finally, at the number 1 spot for the best reviewed game of July 2023 is Pikmin 4, which scored 97.2 on our scale. This is a real-time strategy game in which you play as a Rescue Corps rookie and must chart a mysterious planet with curious plant-like Pikmin that come in different types, like the brand new Ice Pikmin. You'll also have help from your capable canine Ochi, who can assist you in overcoming big challenges that you'll face throughout the game. This was made by Nintendo EPD and released on July 21st, 2023 for the Nintendo Switch. Well, those were the top 10 best reviewed games of July 2023. If you guys are still here, thank you so much for watching through this video. Which of these games have you played? Also, do you agree that these were the best games of July, or do you disagree? Let us know in the comments below. Additionally, if you guys enjoyed the video, then I would really appreciate it if you all could like the video and hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.